Platinum trophies, rare achievements, 100%ing a game. These are all parts of gaming that are key to the fan bases of video games. They give a sense of reward for completing difficult tasks or challenges. But what would this system look like in Pokemon? Well, that is what I decided to try and come up with. However, not all Pokemon games are the same, so let's look at these 5 different Pokemon games. And starting at number 5, we have Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Okay, first of all, we need to discuss the mainline linear games. So let's start with this one. When I was coming up with these ideas, I would spend some time sitting and staring at the actual game, trying to get a feel for everything the game has to do in it, and I managed to come up with 10 achievements for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. The 10th achievement, find a ghostly chest. This is a simple achievement which you would get whenever you found a chest form Gimmighoul. A lot of games will have achievements for doing something once and getting something small, then a larger achievement once you had done this multiple times or once you had found them all, which actually ties into our next achievement, which is number 9, surf the golden wave. This would be awarded to players after they had successfully evolved a Gimmighoul into Goldango. A feat this challenging would definitely make this a rarer achievement. At number 8, we have caught 'em all. This next achievement would be a staple of just about every game we are going to talk about on this list, and that is complete the Pokédex. There is no bigger reward for players to successfully complete their Pokédex, and this achievement would just be the cherry on the icing on the cake. Number 7, the next stage. Evolving a Pokemon is a very common thing done in Pokemon, and that makes this an incredibly simple achievement to get, as that's kind of why it's in this list, because I feel like most video games have that very simple achievement. Number 6, breeding Pokemon is a concept that has been in the Pokemon games since Generation 2, and this achievement would of course just give that little bit of incentive for casual players to do this. Number 5, best of friends. Friendship is a very well-known concept in Pokemon, but Scarlet and Violet decided to take a slightly different approach to this kind of evolution method, by having you walk with your Pokemon. So this achievement would of course be for walking 10,000 steps with one of your Pokemon. Number 4, sparkle and shine. There is not a much better feeling than finding shiny Pokemon, and in Scarlet and Violet the experience just became far more accessible to everyone, and not just diehards sit in a basement for 19 hours finding a shiny rat fans. That is why this achievement will reward you for finding a shiny Pokemon. Number 3, the very best. The ending point of the Pokemon games has always been becoming the Pokemon League champion. For this reason, one of the achievements has to be becoming the champion, but what achievement could be better than this? Well, number 2, the very best of the best. This achievement would be given out once players had done everything in the game, defeating AI Sada or Turo, winning the final school championship, defeating the gym leaders for a second time, clearing out all of Team Star and all the Titan Pokemon, truly doing everything you can in the game. Number 1, Zero to Hero. Yeah, I've just stolen Palafin's ability name, but this achievement would be to evolve a Finizen, since it has the most unique evolution method I've ever seen in Pokemon, hence why I think it would be very good to give out an achievement for this. I can imagine these achievements making the game a bit more interesting to players and giving more of a reason in particular to continue playing the game after finishing the main story. Number 4, Pokemon Legends Arceus. Pokemon Legends Arceus was an incredibly fresh spin on the Pokemon formula, and no one was quite expecting it, but when the game arrived, boy did it deliver. But what about some achievements for this game? Well, here are 10 more achievements. Number 10, an ominous orb. Spiritomb has forever had an incredibly irritating method of being obtained in just about every Pokemon game. However, Legends Arceus made finding Spiritomb a little bit more interesting, where you had to find all of the wisps. That's why I created this achievement, which forces players to find all the wisps and get Spiritomb, giving another incentive to doing this challenge. Number 9, these aren't right. This would be an interesting spin on the Pokédex challenge I previously mentioned, where you would instead have to attain all of the new evolutions or forms to existing Pokemon, giving more of an incentive to do the 20 Psyshield bashes for Weirdeer or evolve Ursaring during a full moon, making obtaining all of these Pokemon a bit more of a desire for the player base. Number 8, the first of them all. This would be an achievement given out once you had caught Arceus. The reason I set up this achievement here is because I believe that a lot of people did not complete the Legends Arceus Pokédex because it was a lot stranger and longer to complete and definitely did require more of a grind, so this achievement incentivizes completing the Pokédex a bit more. Number 7, Untouchable. Winning battles in Legends Arceus is very challenging, particularly in the post-game where you get to fight against Arceus for as many rounds as you like. So what would happen once you had done this 50 times? Well, you would get this achievement, which is better than the items you get for doing the exact same thing. Number 6, Legends of Old. Generation 4 has a lot of legendary Pokemon, and they all appear again in Legends Arceus, so why not award the players for catching all of these legendaries again? Well, that is the premise of this achievement, to give the old players who already have 15 different Heatran the chance to catch one more to get an achievement. achievement. Number 5, the Alphabet Mom. Unknown has a rather irritating method of being obtained in Pokemon Legends Arceus. Having to hunt down each individual letter, and this being the only way to complete the Pokedex, made players feel much more overwhelmed by this. So how do you soften the blow? Make it give a shiny pop-up that you completed an achievement. Number 4, Quest Master. The Legends game brought a brand new system to Pokemon of quests, but even after I finished the game, I never went back to finish all the quests I had left. So what better way than to incentivize me to do it than give me an achievement for doing this? Number 3, Back to the Future. Pokemon Legends Arceus might be the first game to have regional forms and original forms possible for capture in the same game. So let's talk about my next achievement, which is to catch all the Pokemon whose forms were changed that are in the game, such as Weavile and Sizzle, just to give the game another layer of fun to it and a little bit more of a grind to it, since the space-time distortions aren't that common. Number 2, Massive Mass Mayhem. The Legends game was finished and everyone asked what was next, but did not really expect a DLC for Legends Arceus, which incorporated massive mass outbreaks. So this achievement has players finish the DLC for the game as well as the base game, just to give players a reason to come back to the game. Number 1, Centuries Behind. This final achievement is what happens when you manage to catch a Chimchar, Piplup, and Turtwig, giving players the chance to play through the game with their original stars from Diamond and Pearl. I just think it's an interesting concept. And now let's move on to our next game. Number 3, New Pokemon Snap. New Pokemon Snap is a great game, and I will come after anyone who says otherwise. Pokemon Snap was a fundamental part of my childhood, and actually is what led me into doing photography, which led me into doing YouTube. When it was remade, wow, did it just fill me with a fuzzy sense of nostalgia, so I decided to come up with 5 achievements for this game. Gotta snap them all. This one is simple. Take a picture of every Pokemon in the game at each star rarity, and basically 100% the game. This is really not an easy task, and can actually take hours to play for the casual player, so it would be such a fun achievement to get. Number 4, going off course. This achievement would give players a reward for finding a different pass inside the courses, by which I don't mean the Bidoof Dan, I mean like the miniature part of the first area, giving another level of accomplishment to the game. Number 3, the perfect snap. Pokemon Snap has always had a very interesting scoring system for the snaps that are taken within the game, so let's reward players who get those snaps but truly knock the professor off his chair. This achievement would require a picture with over 4,000 points to it, making this a weird task to complete. Number 2, Out of Memory. Pokemon Snap is a really addictive game where you can honestly take hundreds of photos, so let's reward those players who strive to take as many pictures as possible, and give an achievement to those who take 10,000 pictures of Pokemon. Number 1, Blast to the Past. Now this achievement I put in purely for the nostalgia factor, and this will be given out whenever our photography master takes a picture of Mew. Mew was the final goal for the fanbase in the original Pokemon Snap game, so giving this achievement just really pays homage to the first game. Now let's move on to our next game, which is Pokemon Colosseum. Our next game is eagerly awaiting a remake from Nintendo, even if it is just to put onto an official emulator to save the bank accounts of those who are desperate to play the game. And of course, we're talking about Pokemon Colosseum, where I've come up with 5 more achievements for this game. Number 5, Cypher Down. Of course, the Pokemon Colosseum plot is truly amazing, and this would be a brilliant achievement to give out to players once they had finished the game. Number 4, Shadow Savior. One of the fundamental aspects of Pokemon Colosseum is Shadow Pokemon. So what better way than to order a trainer who successfully saves a Shadow Pokemon from the clutches of another trainer? Steals a Shadow Pokemon? Nah, let's stay away from this debate, and we'll just go with save. Number 3, gotta snag them all. A much more challenging achievement than you would think, this achievement incentivizes saving every Pokemon in the game and then going on to purify them all. This is not an easy challenge to complete, however, and it makes it so much more rewarding. Number 2, so close. One of the most frustrating parts of Pokemon Colosseum is shiny Pokemon. You can find them, but they won't necessarily remain shiny once you have snagged them from your opponent. So what better way than to put a band-aid on a severed arm than to give out an achievement to commemorate your misery? Number 1, Boogie Wonderland. Mirror B is the most well-known character from Pokemon Colosseum, and if you haven't heard of him, here's a quick extract of his theme tune that you will have definitely heard. He is the most well-known character from Pokemon Colosseum, so what better way than to pay homage to him than by making an achievement for when you put a stop to his devilish disco dance moves. Just a funny little thing that would be added in. Number 1, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. Our final entry, I only came up with 3 achievements for because I genuinely believe this will make the game more playable, and this is Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. The trouble with the game is that it ends very quickly, so let's just change that quickly. Number 3, Quell the Legends. Legendaries do exist after you have completed the main game, but no one even bothers to try and seek them out. So this achievement gives you a reason to go back and ensure you finish off the game entirely. Number 2, Level 50. Leveling up in this game is very interesting and unconventional. It takes a lot longer than in the mainline Pokemon games, so why why not make it a goal to hit level 50? Not an easy task and very difficult to complete in the base game, so it could be an interesting achievement. Number 1, legendary teammates. Let's talk about the legendaries in the main base game. Zapdos, Moltres, Articuno, Groudon, and Rayquaza. No one ever thinks twice about these legendaries, but did you know you can actually recruit them? Well, this achievement incentivizes players to do just that. That brings this video to a close. But wait, before you go, I challenge someone to try and complete one of these Pokemon games while completing all of these achievements. And if anyone decides to do this for Pokemon Snap, please link me your challenge run or message me on Discord so that I can see it, because I really love Pokemon Snap. Peace out, guys.